All right, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from StreetScores, and you know, especially after a win, I don't know, after an L, maybe I'll still do it, maybe, unlikely, but after a win, you know I'm going to update y'all on where the Commanders are in everybody's power rankings. We are exploding up power rankings, not just rising, but exploding. Dare I even say peaking compared to anything we've done in the past however long. The national media is fully bought in. They're showing a lot of love. I mean, there's even like a playoff percentage going on that I'm gonna show y'all as well. We're gonna break down people's quotes and reasoning as to why they placed us where they did. We're also gonna bring up where we were last week, because you're gonna notice throughout this video you see a pattern from a lot of these different national media and NFL analysts that, you know, after the Bengals win, maybe they thought it was a fluke. They didn't want to give us too much credit. After the Cardinals win, it seems like everybody, almost everybody, is like, okay, these guys are for real. But before we dive into all of that, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned to all of the content. Y'all know I'm gonna bring as much to y'all as possible, like I promised, 2 videos a day, even though it's technically 1:48 a.m. while I'm recording this. I just ended up super busy. Shouts out to my boys over there at the Burgundy Zone. I was on their stream earlier. Make sure you go check out their channel, their Twitter, subscribe, follow. I was with them. We answered a lot of Commanders questions, so big shouts out to them. But I'm always shouting them out, man. And make sure y'all pull up, because I will be live streaming this upcoming Browns game. Let's go ahead and continue this win streak. Without further ado, let's go and dive into this video. 2 videos a day, working on film sessions for channel members only. Let's get it. Adam. All right, so literally the first power ranking I saw, like to even remind me, like, oh yeah, light bulb, I need to go ahead and make this video, was Eric Edholm from NFL.com. He has the Vikings 1, Chiefs 2, Lions 3, Bills 4th, Texans 5th, Ravens 6th, and then the Washington Commanders 7th, in the company of those teams, above the same Tampa Bay Buccaneers that beat us, above the Packers, the Steelers, the 49ers, Seahawks, all other great teams, and most importantly, every other team in the NFC East. That's what matters the most to me. That's what I'm going to be the most petty about. But with him, not gonna lie, he had us ranked 9th after what we did to the Bengals, and then after we beat the Cardinals, he only rose us up 2 spots, but that's because he already had us high. A lot of these other power rankings we're going to get to, we rose and skyrocketed like double-digit spots from where we were last week, because they didn't necessarily believe us after the Bengals game. Eric Edholm of NFL.com saw that Bengals game and was like, we were worthy of 9 immediately, and then we can only go up 2 spots from there. He said, let the record show that I broadcast my optimism for this team's chances back in August. And he has like a whole hyperlink to an article breaking down why he had optimism in this team. Like, he was one of the very few people that believed that we could do something this year outside of the Commanders fan base, outside of like Commanders media members and YouTubers like me. So shouts out to him for having the vision. Now, of course, nobody saw it being like this, being this great, this soon, historical numbers, especially on offense, but he was one of the guys that believed in us. He said, but even in my wildest dreams, I didn't think I'd be approaching true believer status this quickly. Exactly my point. Are the Commanders this year's version of the 2023 Texans? Consider that Houston started last season with a 3-4 record, and here in the Commanders are sitting at 3-1 with only 5 more road games left on the entire schedule. Just to let you know, and I'm gonna talk about this in my preview against the Browns. I'm working on that video. I got a few stats cooking up as to why I believe we can win that game 31-17. I think that I wouldn't necessarily say a big old blowout, but I would say we're gonna win that game convincingly. I'm gonna explain why. But one of the main reasons is because this whole next month of October, well, technically the month that we're currently in, but either way, we're in Maryland the whole time. The only away game we have, Baltimore Ravens. The whole rest of the time, 3 home games, Baltimore Ravens in Maryland the entire time. So we got to take advantage of that, man. And again, we only have 5 more road games for the rest of the season. There are some truly winnable contests upcoming, well, along with an absolute hoot of a matchup. Hoot of a matchup is funny. That's a hoot is crazy. Jada Day, I can't believe I even said that out loud. I almost bleeped it out like it was a cuss word. You ain't ever gonna catch me saying hoot. Jada Daniels versus Lamar Jackson in week 6. The Daniels magic appears to be real, and the NFC East isn't nearly the gauntlet some thought it would be. Hey man, thank goodness. Shout out to them other boys unfolding. Let's get it. What a refreshing change this year has been so far in DC, and I can't wait to see how it ends. But I'm fine going out on a limb here and now saying that this team has an excellent chance to make the postseason run. Book market. So he's putting his name and his reputation beside this team. Not a Commanders fan, just a Commanders believer and truther. Moving on to ESPN, of course, theirs is done by like an accumulation of a lot of different media members and all types of experts, but they have John Com speak on our behalf. They have every ESPN's representative for each team speak on their behalf. So this is not an article by John Com. He's just the one speaking for the Commanders. Last week, they had us ranked 19th after beating the Bengals. They have us ranked 10th after beating the Cardinals. John Com said the good news for Washington is that the next 6 weeks, it plays only 2 teams, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, ranked in the top 10 in rushing. That's an excellent point there. Shouts out to him for that one. Now moving on to the 33rd team, you have Marcus Mosher. I hope that's how you pronounce his last name. I apologize if I got it wrong. Week 4 ranking, they had us 16th after beating the Bengals. They have us ranked 11th, up 5 spots after beating the Cardinals. He said Jaden Daniels has turned the Washington Commanders into an instant contender in the NFC East. There might not be a team in the NFL that is more fun to watch than Washington. It's almost, hey man, you can call us Washington. You know, I mean, after I already said who, this already downhill from here. So I can say as many dad jokes as I want to, as many stupid puns as I want to for the remainder of this video. It doesn't count towards my permanent record. The defense is still a major issue, and it remains to be seen if it can get any stops against quality offenses. But the Commanders are legit and hold a 1-game lead over the Cowboys and Eagles in the division after the season's first month. Loving the praise, man. Loving the praise. Keep it going. Keep this train rolling. Yahoo Sports, after beating the Bengals, ranked 17th. Yahoo Sports only has us ranked 16th going into this game. I'm not mad at anybody that's a little apprehensive, but I am a little surprised. Taylor Worth said, are the Commanders a playoff? No, that's silly, or is it? Man, they look good. I want to believe, I really do. Maybe if we beat the Browns, he'll finally elevate us into like the playoffs in his power ranking. Then you go to US, but that, I mean, it's very few and far in between who does not have us in the playoffs in their power rankings right now, who let alone even have us really even outside the top 10. Speaking of that, USA Today up next. Shout out to Nate Davis. Last week we were 18th. After beating the Cardinals, we are now 9th. Nate Davis said, given how well rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels and company have been playing, it's very easy to envision this team around 7-2 at the season's midpoint. But they could use more from the wideouts. None among Washington's top 3 yardage producers or in excess of 200 yards through 4 games. Does he mean or are? I don't know. Either way, appreciate the shout out. Thank you for having us top 10. Speaking of top 10, Pro Football Talk. Shouts out to Mike Florio. And y'all know, if there's anybody, I mean, nobody out hates Adam Rank when it comes to the Washington Commanders. I don't think there's anybody. Mike Florio, if anything, if he is second, he's a very distant second. Nobody hates us more than Adam Rank at NFL Network. But Mike Florio does seem uncomfortable sometimes giving us any sort of praise, no matter when and how it comes or whatever. But shouts out to him, because he even had us ranked 15th after the Bengals win, 9th after the Cardinals win, again top 10. He said the 2024 Commanders are looking like the 2023 Texans, and maybe even better. I love that quote. Short, straight to the point, real sweet, and very impactful. Shouts out to Mike Florio for that one. Then you have sporting news. They had us ranked 16th after the Bengals win. Now they have us ranked 11th. You have Vinny Iyer. I hope that's how you pronounce his name, Iyer. The Commanders are in complete command offensively with Jaden Daniels rushing and passing for chunks at will. It's now inspiring the defense to know it can play with a lead. That's a point I've brought up in a video before sometime since the game ended against the Cardinals. I forgot if I said it live during the video, whatever. But that's a good point. Like, if this defense knows all we got to do is stop a team from scoring 30, we win the game, basically. If we can hold a team to 21, we for sure got the game. You know how much more loose a team can play that way? You know how much they can buy in? Like, if I just do my part and give it 110%, it will matter, because I know everybody else is going to do their job, especially the offense. So great point there by Mr. Vinny over there at Sporting News. Next up, you have Fox NFL Podcast, and they have us rising 9 spots from 18 all the way up to 9th, top 10. Right above the Eagles. I love that. Right above the Eagles. Like 1 spot above them there. The Eagles dropped 4. The Packers have dropped 4 so that we can take their place, basically. Only people ahead of us: Chiefs, Lions, Ravens, Vikings, Bills, Texans, 49ers, Buccaneers, then it's us. I can't be mad at the Buccaneers thing. That makes sense. I'm actually surprised that some people have us ranked ahead of the Buccaneers, especially after they beat us. Even though I feel like if we would have rematched them right now, I think we probably beat them. I'm not going to lie. The way that this team is getting better, I don't think the Buccaneers are necessarily much better than what they were week 1, because they're basically the same team from last year that just beat the Eagles by double-digit points in the playoffs just a few months ago. That's why they were so well prepared week 1 compared to us, where we just looked like the newest team in the NFL. You know why? Because we were. They were pretty much the same team for the majority of the way. I mean, especially coaching and schematically, let alone star players. They were pretty much the same team as last year. I feel like now they've basically been on the same wavelength. They've been like the same stock. I feel like we got way better since week 1, and I'm not going to go as far to say like we would whoop them, but I think we can beat them at this point. And I think especially as we get better and better and continue to grow, I think definitely if we were to like see them in the playoffs and we get a rematch, I think we will win our revenge game. But again, Fox NFL podcast has us ranked 9th. And then Sports Illustrated had us ranked 14th after the Bengals win, and they still rose us 9 spots to 5th. They feel like we are a top 5 team in the NFL. Shouts out to Nick Wright for already having Jaden Daniels as a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Sports Illustrated feels like we are the 5th best team out of the entire NFL. That is Connor Orr over there, so shouts out to him. Big salute to him. I believe that's the highest spot we have out of these power rankings, but don't quote me on that yet. Maybe somebody has us 4th or higher. Maybe somebody else has us 5th. But I know so far for sure, 5th is the highest we are. What a night for the Commanders fans who truly and honestly deserve all of this. It's no longer a wild thought to imagine the Commanders making the playoffs or winning the dang NFC East outright. The upcoming schedule has dates with middling opponents like Cleveland, Carolina, Chicago, and the Giants, again sandwiched them with dates against the Ravens, Steelers, Eagles, and Cowboys. While I would caution us all to give Jaden Daniels some space to grow and make mistakes, how special could this season be? That's a great question, man, because this could end up being some historical stuff here. Shouts out, and let's go back in the past a little bit, because before the season started, Pro Football Network's Dakota Randall predicted we would finish the season 2-15. How about we already have more wins than that with 3 just 4 weeks into the season? Just barely a quarter into the season, we've already outdid Pro Football Network's overall prediction of our overall schedule of going 2-15, already 3-1. But speaking of Pro Football Network, now they can't even deny it. Now they don't even have anything else to say. Because now, last week after beating the Bengals, they had us ranked 21st. How about now they have us ranked 10th? Top 10 out of the entire NFL, saying from Matt Canada himself again, the number 2 overall pick has been the NFL's second best quarterback behind Josh Allen over the past 2 weeks. I would easily argue that really, for real, Jaden Daniels has been the best quarterback over the past couple of weeks, especially after how Josh Allen got did bad by the Ravens. Daniels completed 88.7% of his passes in weeks 3 and 4, averaging 9.2 yards per attempt. So much for an easy, simple college offense that only throws screens, while achieving, and I added that wasn't him, while achieving a 0.52 EPA per drop back. For reference, Brock Purdy led the league last year in 2023 with a 0.34. Again, Jaden Daniels has a 0.52, nearly double. Brock Purdy was statistically the best quarterback in the NFL last year, and Jaden Daniels has almost doubled that this year. I really want to emphasize to y'all how serious things are getting right now. This is no joke. Sound the alarms. We got us a guy. But I've already given y'all a bunch of stats, and be on the lookout, because maybe tomorrow, as in, well, Thursday, later on today, maybe I'll go ahead and put out the crazy advanced stats like I did last week, because you'll be shocked at some records and some things that Jaden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury, this entire offense is doing right now, even outside of Jaden Daniels, that has never been done before in NFL history. I got y'all with that later, either tomorrow as in Thursday, or maybe Friday. We'll see. And then you have SB Nation and their power rankings. Straight up, the header, the big picture taking up all of the space, is a picture of Jaden Daniels. And even the title, Power Rankings Week 4, Commanders rocket up to the top 10. Let's get it. And then they don't even have any explanations for real. They just have an entire chart. And at first they had us ranked 21st last week. Now we are 10th this week, only behind the Buccaneers, Seahawks, Texans, 49ers, Ravens, Bills, Lions, Vikings, and Chiefs. pretty much like the same teams over and over again that are always ahead of us. Maybe some people prefer the Steelers, maybe some people prefer the Packers, but definitively we're ahead of everybody in the NFC East at the very least, and that's all that really matters when you want to make the playoffs and win this division. Then you have Barry Werner of ListWire. He has us ranked 14th right now. I'm not exactly sure what he had us last week. It doesn't say, but either way, he said, it looks like Dan Quinn picked the right spot to call home after leaving Dallas defensive coordinator. Having Jaden Daniels as his quarterback has sped things up on the field, and in the Washington rebuild too. Let's get it. Then you have Frank Schwab of Yahoo Sports. We were ranked 17th last week. Now he has us ranked 12th, man. Y'all better watch out because we are not here to play with y'all. Frank Schwab said, in their past 3 games, the Commanders have scored points on 20 of 22 possessions, not including kneel downs. It's not like the Commanders have an outstanding supporting cast or a great line. This is Jaden Daniels being absolutely dominant as a rookie. I will push back a little bit because I feel like the offensive line has given him a lot of time. I feel like Cliff Kingsbury has done a superb job, and I feel like the receivers and the running backs especially have definitely done their jobs as well. I mean, the pass blocking from the running backs alone has been excellent. So I would push back on that. But yes, Jaden Daniels has been great, but you don't have to downplay the rest of the team to hype up Jaden Daniels. Let's not do that. We're going to all stick together. We're not going to let you separate us and act like it's just the Jaden Daniels show. Even he would admit that. And then you have Colin Cowherd. He did his power rankings, and I think he only cares about ranking the top 10. I don't even think he does the entire NFL. He has us ranked 7th in his week 5 Herd hierarchy. That's what he calls it, the Herd hierarchy. He said, quote, and it's like, he literally tweeted this out. Like, I'm not even on his video or his website. He tweeted out himself, the Washington Commanders jumped to number 7. Quote, for the first time in a decade, everything is good vibes and positivity, unquote. And he did like a whole breakdown for a couple of minutes talking about how happy he is for us and like just remembering the good old days when we used to be an elite franchise. He talks about all of that. So if you want to feel good about that after this video, make sure you go check out Colin Cowherd talking about us and hyping us up. Then you have The Athletic, who has us ranked 6th overall. That's by Kendall. He had us ranked 18th last week, up 12 spots to 6th after beating the Cardinals. First round quarterback Jaden Daniels, the number 2 overall pick, has changed the complexion of the season for the Commanders and may have finally changed the trajectory of the franchise. Daniels has completed 82% of his passes so far, the highest completion percentage in a 4-game stretch in NFL for quarterbacks with more than 100 attempts since the league's merger. And we're not talking about the first 4 games. We're not even talking about the first 4 games of a rookie. No, we're talking about any 4-game stretch that any quarterback in NFL history has ever had. Like, talk about Peyton Manning in his best season, in the middle of the season, after he's warmed up after a few games. Talk about Tom Brady, like the 2007 Patriots when he had Randy Moss. They went undefeated. There's never been a 4-game stretch of any quarterback in NFL history, not even just talking about the first 4 weeks. We're talking about at any point in a season, 4-game stretch that has had the completion percentage that Jaden Daniels has right now. I really want to emphasize that. I'm going to emphasize that again in my stats video. He has led more scoring drives, 23, than he has thrown incompletions with 19. That's another ridiculous stat. Think about that. We've scored on more drives than Jaden Daniels has thrown incompletions. I don't know how many times I got to say it. I don't know how many times I got to reword it for people to understand that is absolutely insane. That's probably the most impressive stat out of all of them. He also has the highest EPA per dropback of an NFL starter with a .32. He's 10th in passing yards, 897, and he's 2nd among quarterbacks in rushing with 218. Congratulations, Commanders. That's all he had to say to end it. Congratulations, Commanders. Basically, you got one. Then you even have Walter Football, who refuses to call us anything else other than the Redskins. When it was Washington football team, still called us Redskins. When it was Washington Commanders, still called us Redskins. I respect it. And we were previously 18 in this list. Now he has us 9th, even ahead of the Texans and the Bengals, the Steelers, the Seahawks, especially the Eagles and the rest of the NFC East. Again, that's all I really care about, though. He said, Jaden Daniels doesn't miss, period. How is he more accurate than Drew Brees in his prime already? Excellent point, because Drew Brees used to be a completion percentage monster, and he never even really had an average depth of target. Remember that year that Michael Thomas had the most catches, but, a lot of people were saying that he's really not that great. At least he's not the best receiver in the NFL, even though he does have the most catches, because the average depth of target was just really low. He was just running a bunch of slants and stuff. And I still feel like Michael Thomas deserved his credit, but yeah, putting him above guys like Julio was insane at the time. But either way, my point is, Drew Brees ran an offense where he wasn't even throwing it past 5 5 yards, like pretty much the majority of the time. And Jaden Daniels is still out completion percentage in that guy. In his, and when he was older too, this is not young Drew Brees. This is full veteran Drew Brees. It's truly unbelievable. I was a huge fan of Daniels in the NFL, so much so that I bought his legendary Rainmakers card, RIP Rainmakers, but I didn't even see this coming. I don't think the Redskins did either. Daniels might be known as a top 3 NFL quarterback by next season at this pace. That's another common theme, that including guys like me that wanted Jaden Daniels so bad in the draft over Drake May, all of that. That even none of us expected it to be that great, especially that quickly. Like nobody did. Then you have MSN.com, so Microsoft, and then you have the article written by Arya maybe, and then Arya Patil. I hope I tried my best to pronounce that name. I apologize if I got it wrong. They have us ranked 7th. They said Jaden Daniels is quickly establishing himself as a difference maker with only 5 road games left. Washington is in a strong position for a postseason run. Shouts out to her, man, for the love right there. Then the New York Post, shouts out to Dunleavy over there, has us ranked 10th last week, 18th after beating the Bengals, now 10th after beating the Cardinals. There is no hotter offense right now, period. Like, that's literally the sentence. Then they do a whole nother paragraph to start. The Commanders have scored on 20 of 22 possessions during a 3-game winning streak, including most recently a 42-14 rout of the Cardinals that allowed offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury to get a laugh at the team that fired him as head coach. Jeremy McNichols, Brian Robinson, and Jaden Daniels combined for 4 rushing touchdowns. Great point there. Great stat there as well. Then you have the score. Last week's 19th, going into this week after beating the Cardinals, heading into the Browns game, ranked 12th. They said Jaden Daniels leads all signal callers in EPA per play and success rate through 4 weeks. He's completed over 80% of his throws, and Washington has more scoring drives than incompletions. People are going to keep bringing that up because I really don't think y'all understand how ridiculous that is. It's a hoop. The rookie has made the Commanders must-watch TV and is one of the league's most exciting players. Then you have Sportsnot, Mr. Johnson over there, has us ranked 13th, had us ranked 16th last week, so they didn't feel like the Cardinals really gave us that much credit, but they already had us ranked 16th after beating the Bengals, so they were already partially a believer anyway. It's time to give the Washington Commanders their flowers. Jaden Daniels didn't come close to replicating his Monday Night Football showcase, but the Commanders still found their way to a statement win. We were wrong about Cliff Kingsbury and his Commanders offensive line. Both are greatly exceeding expectations. Now, a sentence that seemed unfathomable just a week ago, the Commanders might win the NFC. They said South, but they meant East. Maybe that's a typo. I don't know. That's random. And then you have FantasyData.com. They have us ranked 12th. Last week, ranked 22nd after beating the Bengals. After beating the Bengals, still didn't believe in us. 22nd after beating the Cardinals. 10 spots, and they even have a rocket emoji next to us. Only some people have emojis. Like some teams have emojis next to them. We're one of the very few teams, and I believe we're the only one with a rocket. Yep, we're the only one. Some people have, like a couple of people have a stock down. A couple of people have a stock up. We're the only one with a rocket ship. This team is going to win the NFC East. You can bookmark it here. Love the confidence and the love from people that aren't even Commanders fans. Jaden Daniels is a superstar and is only going to get better as he plays more. I agree. That's the scary part for other teams. The coaching staff found their guy and installed an offense around him that allowed him to succeed. Other franchises should take note. I completely agree. But don't copy our swag, man. You know what I'm saying? Do your own thing. You don't figure it out your own way. Don't copy and paste us, man. You can't be duplicated. This type of success can't be replicated. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about it, man. Now moving on to Sharp Football Analysis. They had us ranked 20th last week, now 15th. OddsShark 24th last week, now 15th. The NFL trade rumors, you have Woody over there. Last week ranked 22nd, now we're ranked 16th. They said we have the latest rookie sensation at quarterback to take the league by storm. Jaden Daniels is here, leading the charge in a blowout win over the Cardinals. Daniels just set the record for completion percentage over a 4-game span in NFL history. Doing so over the first 4 games of his career is a ridiculous feat. I do want to emphasize that. Not only is it a 4-game stretch, but you got to remember this guy is 4 games into his rookie season. That's ridiculous. The Commanders are early leaders in the NFC East, and with the Browns on deck, they have a chance to keep their lead. Then Lions had us ranked 26th last week and now 18th, so they don't really believe in us. And then at the Ringer, you have Lee over there, ranked 25th last week, only 21st this week. So they don't really believe in us. So those couple of websites. But then you have Bleacher Report, and they have a long breakdown for every team. So that's why I kind of held them to the back. Last week, they had us ranked 18th, so they kind of believed us after that Bengals win. Now they have us ranked 14th, so not the biggest rise, but still top 15 is cool. They said the Washington Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels must be butter because the second overall pick of the 2024 draft is on a roll. Oh, I can't believe I read that out loud. I thought we were at our peak of bad when I said hoot, but now they just caught me off guard. I should have proofread this before I read this to y'all. That's on me, man. Matter of fact, I should edit this out of here before y'all even get to see that I even said that. One of the NFL has never seen before. After completing 26 of 30 passes in a blowout win over Arizona, Daniels has completed 82.1% of his passes through his first 4 games, an NFL record. He's the only quarterback in league history to complete 85% of his passes in consecutive games. I mean, NFL record after NFL record. There's so many. I don't even know where to start, but that's why I have a stats video on the way for you so you can keep track of all of them. The last time the Commanders had a young quarterback this electrifying was Robert Griffin III. But while Yahoo's Frank Schwab sees some similarities, Daniels is a better passer and the sky's the limit. I completely agree. Robert Griffin was never this type of passer. I mean, first of all, let's just talk about the start. We started that season terribly, and then we had to go on a 7-game winning streak just to end up winning the division the last game of the season barely. Like, literally whoever won that game between us and the Dallas Cowboys that 2012 season wins the division, goes to the playoff. The other team does not go to the playoff. So it wasn't a good start at all, not like this at all. So I feel like that's a huge distinction just alone from team success and Jaden Daniels specifically from Robert Griffin. I also feel like Jaden Daniels is a little bit more agile. Robert Griffin may be a little bit faster straight line wise, maybe, but I feel like Jaden Daniels is better at avoiding hits, and he's already a way better slider as well. And reading defenses, I don't like the RG3 comparisons on my end. I really don't. I don't even like the Lamar Jackson comparisons. I feel like he's a completely different quarterback from all of them. The last time the Commanders had a young quarterback that's electrifying, oh, I already read that. My fault. I'm messing up, man. That whole hoot thing, and then I'm getting baited into he must be butter because he's on a roll like that. It scrambled my brain. Y'all gotta forgive me, man. Y'all gotta be patient with me, man. I don't even know what to do with myself. Now, also, the one thing Daniels has over Griffin is that he already looks like a polished pocket passer. I agree. The Commander started him off very slowly, barely throwing more than a few yards down the field in the first game and most of his second, but he executed that well, and the offense has been opening up since then. If you didn't know Daniels was a rookie, you never could have guessed it on Sunday. He was just an accurate, poised quarterback who was also very effective as a runner. It doesn't seem like Daniels is going anywhere. If he keeps playing at this level with just a little help around him, the Commanders might be a factor all season too. The Washington defense remains a potential weakness though. Although they played well against the Cardinals, limiting Arizona to under 300 yards of offense, the way Daniels and the Washington offense are playing, if the defense can hold it together, the Commanders may not just be a factor in the NFC East. They may be like the real deal. They might be the best team in the division. Let's get it. And then you also have, now we're getting into some like really random, I had to dig real deep into the corners of the internet, had to dust it off to find some of these articles. So you have sportstacdesk.com, and they have us ranked 9th. They said the Commanders have established a strong resume in the NFC East, bolstered by solid offensive line play and a formidable defense. Formidable is a little strong there, I'm not gonna lie, even though I think they have the potential to be that, but they're not there yet. The Cardinals game was improvement, but we're still not, I wouldn't even say a good defense, let alone a formidable defense. Can they become good? Maybe, but they're not yet that. And then also, just like last week, we have Michael Herbers, who literally just used to do movie reviews on Medium, then suddenly just out of nowhere, he started to pivot into NFL power rankings. So this is not a guy that's necessarily been doing this his whole life. It looks like, from what I saw from his history last week when I looked it up, that this is just something he started this year. Again, he used to be a movie review guy, but he's doing power rankings. Why not? He had us ranked 21st last week. He has us ranked 10th this week. So I think we need to hear him out. If he thinks the Commanders are a top 10 team, maybe he knows what he's doing. Maybe he's more legitimate than some of the people you even see on the TV. He said, I'm just going to say right now that I don't foresee Washington being in the top 10 for much longer. Oh, never mind. Scratch that. I'm not even finishing the sentence. Nope. Forget that. I should edit this out the video. Nah, man, you lost trust. Man, I tried to hype you up too. I tried to put people onto you and everything. You gonna do me like that on the first sentence, man? Come on, man. Now, lastly, before we get up out of here, another random obscure place. I found one on threads.net. I don't even have a Threads account, but you have Joe Montana's right arm. That's the name of the account. Week 5 power rankings. They did top 10, bottom 10. We are 8th on their list, and that's it. I mean, we're ahead of the Seahawks, Steelers, and most importantly, everybody else in the NFC East. That's really all there is to it. Now, if you look on the screen, like I promised before the intro, here are the playoff chances right now, statistically, just based on what people's records are now. And I'm assuming they also threw in the calculations of like future opponents and what their records are, strength of schedule, all that type of stuff. And right now they're saying the Commanders have a 64.6% chance of making the playoffs. Most importantly, that's 14% better, almost an entire 14% better than the Cowboys, and almost 19% better than the Philadelphia Eagles. And even for me, the team I hate the most, the Falcons, to be petty, that's even almost double their percentage. So I'm really happy to hear that. And let's be even pettier. Caleb Williams, with that elite defense he has over there, so what? 28%. We're better than you though over there as well. So right now, according to whatever calculations and statistics they put into a pot and chef this up, we have the 4th best percentage chance of making the playoffs in the NFC, and I can live with that. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get a notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Please make sure you stiff arm that like button to remind me to never say the word hoot in a video ever again. Make sure of course, you let me know in the comment section how you feel about everything. Do you agree or disagree with anybody's rankings, anybody's opinions? Do you feel like some people are jumping the gun too much? Do you hate the fact that people are doing complete 180s, whereas us as a fan base, we've been somewhat in the middle? The national media was way down on us, way more than us, and then now they're probably even higher on us than we are as an overall fan base. We're hyped, but some people saying that we're like a top 5 team. I'm not even sure I would say that yet. So let me know how you feel about that. Some people overhyping us, some people still underselling us. How do you feel about all of the opinions? I'm gonna try my best to read and reply to as many comments as possible. I really appreciate y'all, man. Again, make sure you pull up to my channel constantly, because I'm trying to get back to the point where I'm doing like 2 videos a day, and I'm working on film sessions for the channel members. So stay tuned for that. I really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm out.